Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
Welcome back to part 2 of The Damn Truth, live on the Voices of Russ Ballard with Russ Ballard. So, without further ado, I'm going to let the band loose on the man himself. Just a reminder of Russ and I were in a hotel room. It wasn't anything like that. He was signing merch CDs, and I was playing the Damn Truth album, and Russ was enjoying it, and we were annoying the people in the next room by playing it quite loud. And here we are today. So, welcome, Russ.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Did you know that these guys are in they record in a studio called The Warehouse?
Yeah, you told me.
Which is in
It's the title of the album I've just had out.
Yeah, exactly.
Funnily enough, yeah.
Exactly.
Uncanny, I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These things happen.
Yeah,
So,
it's a sign. It's the universe.
Indeed.
I perhaps might just kick it off by mentioning record deals. Now, I read some horrific stuff about you, and indeed what was said to Leela about if you want a record deal, but not by your current manager, but in the past, then you need to have sort of cosmetic enhancement kind of thing.
Great.
And I just couldn't believe that. But I was just thinking about the parallels. Russ, you in the days when you got your first record deal, I guess things were a bit different.
Yeah. I mean, it went straight onto metal, man. It went straight onto that was 1963. You're 63. You're talking about. My first track I recorded in 1961, but it was in a band. When I was in my first band, I got a record deal because I was in the Roulettes with, but that was Norrie Paramore, Abbey Road. It wasn't called Abbey Road then, it was EMI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was the biggest producer around at Abbey Road, and it was George Martin that was desperate to be him. He was desperate to have, he was making albums, but he was making sort of comic albums, like with Peter Sellers and Bernard Cribbins, Ian. You remember Bernard Cribbins, Ian?
Yes, I do, yeah.
There I was digging this hole in the ground, sort of big and sort of round it was. It was doing all this kind of stuff.
And then I had a cup of tea and yeah.
Yeah. And then right, said Fred, both of us together.
We was getting nowhere, and then we had a cup of tea.
Right, said Fred, both of us together, one each end and steady as you go. Tried to shift it, couldn't even lift it, we was getting nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea and right.
But that was what George Martin was doing. But it was great for, the Beatles albums when they became big and they developed with each album, and they started using sound effects. He was very adept at it because he'd been doing it all his life.
Right.
His career, he didn't even think the Beatles were that good, but he thought their personalities were so good.
Mm.
And he didn't think they had a lead singer. So there you go. He didn't think they had a lead singer. And it's a really weird one. So I got them sing that, although they sang together live, he got them singing together.
Are you a big fan of the late 60s vibe that the Damn Truth are very much fans of?
Oh yeah. I was very au fait with Grace Slick, and that
Wow.
she's got the same vib in her voice as Grace Slick.
Oh man, I adore her. She when the first time I heard Grace's voice, I think it rocked my world. I was 11 or 12 years old. My father played me White Rabbit, and ever since, I'm just chasing that sound. It's so haunting, so beautiful.
It was,
So
yeah. I mean, I thought it was great at that time as well. The whole, that whole San Francisco hippie vibe was such a great time. It's a shame that time didn't develop into something bigger.
Mm.
They did. It was a fad. Sadly, the love thing. Shame we didn't stay together for another 1,000 years.
We're trying to bring it back, man.
I
We
think it's
really are.
yeah, yeah. I was going to call my band, the band I'm going around with, I was going to call them the Super Hippies.
I love it.
I just thought I told the band, either that or I had some other names, but I thought Super Hippies would be really good because I feel like a hippie myself.
Absolutely.
I'm an aged hippie, or I guess I'm a bit more like a monk than a hippie, but we could call it.
Tom and I wanted to be the freaking feathers for a while. So yeah.
That sounds really heavy.
Keep feathers. Your voice, Leela. I mean, there's lots of people that said made comments about you sounding like Janis Joplin.
It's wild, man. Janice, Grace, these are like huge idols for me. And when I get chills hearing those things, and I did grow up listening to all the incredible music, and I'm sure it's pre-mated into my, it's in my veins, it's in my blood. I can't say anything but thank you, and that's incredible when people make some kind of correlation, because they're goddesses in my book.
I was going to mention Janis Joplin for enough. I didn't
Really?
know. I didn't know that story about Janis, but they have the same vibe. It's that vibe. It's the same. It's the same vib in the voice and stuff, and that register.
Oh, thanks so much.
And
Thanks.
that Robert Plant was trying. He said he was heavily influenced not by white guys. He was influenced by Janis Joplin.
Yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he was into. He was into that stuff, and you can hear it. You can hear it when it's, on the first Zeppelin album. You can hear that.
Yeah.
That was that album, man. That first Zeppelin album was kind of the one that kind of brought us with Bob Rock together. When he first heard our demos that we managed to send him, that was the first album that came into his mind, Zep 1, and he was like, okay, this is what I want to create with you guys. Yeah. He felt that correlation as well. It's mind blowing.
It's a great sound, and it's very well recorded.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that album so much.
And I was surprised, when you listen to it on my laptop, it's very, even on the phone, he's rolled that bass off more than I would have expected, but it sounds really good. Really good.
It's really incredible how good it sounds.
Totally.
Yeah.
It sounds,
yeah.
50 years ago. It's crazy.
You hear every note.
That's PY on the bass, Russ.
Yeah. I just saw him. Hi, PY.
Howdy.
Because Russ's bass player is called PJ, by the way.
PJ,
No way.
And my drummer's called Dave.
No way. Okay, that's crazy.
Holy shit, PJ and Dave.
He's being a little bit economic with the truth on the last bit, but that wasn't the damn truth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Russ, did you ever come across Bob Rock in your many music endeavors over the years?
Oh, yeah, it's very well known. I mean, for years I had billboards, so I used to get that all the time. And he was always in there.
Right.
He was always in there with one band or another, so very au fait with him.
One story that I didn't bring out, than part one, which Russ, you might be interested to hear, but perhaps the guys can elaborate a little more on it. But in 2016, they were driving along in their van full of gear, and they heard a noise coming from the van. We got it checked out, and that's all right. You'll be able to get to your destination. Carry on a bit longer. But that didn't quite happen, did it? Do you want to tell the story? Do you want to tell the story? I think it's quite a.
It should be your story.
It's a great story, actually.
Please do. Please do.
So let's take it from where you left off. We're at this little Jiffy Lube, a little, quick garage. And they're like, yeah, no problem. As you say, continue. You can make it to your destination, which we still had a ways to go. We were driving to Thunder Bay. So it was like, what was it? Like 3 more hours Two and a half
Something
more
like that.
hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So 90 seconds later, the van is engulfed in flames. Leela, well, no, let's back up. 60 seconds later, Leela's like, "Do you guys smell something?"
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, kind of. And then she's like, "Open the windows." I'm like, "Nah, keep them closed, keep them closed." And she's like, "Open the windows, open the windows." And then as Tom, were you driving, I believe?
I'm
Yeah.
driving it.
As you're wheeling down the window, you see in the mirror, like, cars are like waving us down. We're about to get on the highway, about to merge onto a pretty serious highway. So we pull off to the side. The van is completely engulfed. Leela and Ben, the little 2-year-old kid at the time, runs into the field. It's, what was it, October or November? It was cold and kind of rainy. We thought the van was going to explode. We just put $150 worth of gasoline in it, you know? So like in the movies, you think, so we're just running, and this hockey coach pulls up in his pickup truck, and he's like, "If you want to save your trailer and your gear, you got to do it now," you know, like grabs you by the collar kind of thing. So me and the boys and this guy, we just picked up a full trailer, full show, all the amps, everything, and we've backed it up. The flames were like burning my eyelashes as we're doing it. It was crazy. We all fucked up our backs, and then the van didn't
Save the
explode.
gear. You saved
Yeah,
the
we
gear.
saved the gear. We saved the gear. The van didn't explode, but it did burn. Within like 2 minutes, the van was burnt down to the frame. There wasn't a thing left. My passport, my MacBook Pro, every single thing I owned. It was my first tour with the band, so I was kind of a noob, and I was like, "Oh, I'll bring everything I own. What could go wrong on a rock and roll tour with all my valuable worldly possessions?" And then 2 days later, I owned none of that stuff anymore. It was crazy.
Yes,
No.
what happens on the road, you know, you think about the amount of miles you travel, there's going to be something, there's going to be some problems, you know, and I often used to think about that, you know, big and small, you know, and you just hope it's not going. Well, our bass player was killed on the road, you know, in a car smash.
Oh,
And
shit.
we were going to
Wow.
the same show. We were going, and that's when I just turned professional. I
Wow.
just turned 17, and we were going to Sunderland, which is the northeast. And I was getting ready packing the next morning. And then the phone went, and it was my friend, the drummer, our drummer, Bob Henry, who, and I could hear his sister crying on the phone. She was
Mhm.
crying and screaming, you know, God, it was deathly. And she was engaged to this guy, our bass player.
Oh
Oh,
my
no.
God.
Terrible.
But very, very sad. These things do happen, you know.
You don't expect it, do you? Goodness me.
You don't expect it, but
Oh, dear.
it leaves, you know, it leaves something with you every time something. I always say that when you, everything you touch in life leaves, you know, it becomes part of you. Just like food becomes part of you, it's your energy. You become that food becomes you. There's no getting away from it. Without it, you're dead. So whatever you eat becomes part of you. The music you listen to, the people you touch, the love and
Yes.
the hate, everything becomes part of you. So you just remember it when you do it, that this person I'm speaking to now, this thing I'm doing now, is going to become part of me for the future.
So you better make good choices.
Yeah, exactly. The fact is, you know, all these people that you meet in your life are still part of, now they're still part, many of them are still part of me, you know, and you can't get away from it. Bob, I'd mentioned Bob, it was his brother-in-law. Bob is still my closest friend.
Yeah.
He was the drummer in the band. He went on to join other bands, but we were together for 13 years in bands. Then he went on with the Kinks. He was in the Kinks and he was in other bands, and he went on with Don McLean on a tour, a world tour. So, but it's still my love in my life, you know, I love him of my life.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it came out earlier, funnily enough. We're talking about, Bob was talking about, because Dave is the drummer, we were talking about the physicality of gigs.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, you know, Bob, when he used to do a 20-minute solo of at the Palace Theatre in New York, you know, doing the Fakir or that Indian.
Yeah, that was
sort
in
of thing.
This is an Indian thing called the fakir.
Indian
That was
sort
in
of thing.
that was in 5/4 time. That's how mad we were. It was 5/4 time. Dude,
Sorry about the jazz.
yeah, yeah.
Well, 20-minute solo is definitely something. I run out of ideas after maybe 3
Four.
minutes. If these guys walked off stage and made me do a 20-minute solo, I would just probably melt into the ground.
Dude, I've got. I won't do it now, but I do have some great stories about his solos.
Go
You
on,
know,
tell us one. It was one where he said he saved your life once when he pulled
oh yeah, you're talking. No, that wasn't a drum solo.
No, but on stage, I mean.
Like that was on the stage, not in the street. That
No.
was, yeah. That was. I was on. We were playing in Frankfurt in Germany, and we playing a place called the Zoom Club in 1971, and it was a strange one. You know, it's a great club. It was a real vibey club, and there's a lot of American servicemen in there, loads and loads. It's full of Americans, and we were just getting ready to go on. All the gear was on the stage. We had two roadies. Fred,
This was Argent, Russ, wasn't it? Yeah.
this is Argent, yeah. Our main man was Fred, and Fred came down. He said, "Guys, don't touch the mics. They're live."
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
no.
And we
I
still
hate
went up
this
there like you do.
already.
You think it's not going to happen to me anyway. What? They're live. Don't touch the mics. You know. I went up there and we went do again, do again. That's the first tune. Again. And I went up and touched the mic just like that. And the strings. I didn't realize I was touching this mic. Just touched it like that. And it grabbed hold of me, you know.
Oh my God.
I went
yes.
straight across the stage.
Oh my God.
Jesus
Bob
Christ.
jumped up, tried to save me, tried to kick the mic out of my hand. Jim went, his instinct was to pick Bob up because Bob was on the ground as well. We were all on the ground, and it was the stage was live. And
Holy shit.
oh yeah. And suddenly the gear went off, everything went off, the power went off because the other road he pulled out the mains.
Pulled out the plug. Yeah.
He pulled out
Oh
the
my
plug.
God.
He pulled out
Thank
the-
God.
He pulled out the plug and everything went dead. Well, I thought, I'm dying. This is such a waste. I'm dying. You know, it's such a waste of my life. 20, what I was 21, one of those things, you know. But Fred carried me back to the. He's a big guy. He used to be a soldier. He was 13 years older than me, and he picked me up and carried me back to the dressing room. And this American GI shouted, "Yeah, it's a tough break, man. It's a tough break. Are you going back home?"
Walk it off.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
The crowd think it's part of the act, you know, lighting up the stage, maybe.
yeah. They thought I freaked out early.
Alice Cooper took a thing or two from you, I guess.
I've seen you guys leaping around, you know, so I thought maybe you'd been electrocuted a few times.
Well, that's why I was reacting so much. I have like this piece of metal in my lip here, and it happens to me sometimes where I kind of like get shocked, and the metal
Yeah,
gets
easily
stuck
done,
onto the
yeah.
mic.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Oh yeah, I've got my lips have been shocked without any metal. It's happened many a time.
Yeah.
It is not fun. But I've never been connected to like you say that's scary shit. Wow.
Yo,
Yeah.
can I ask Russ? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
On just want to say that I love Argent very much. I've been listening to these records for my entire life. I absolutely love the work. And since I get to talk to you here face to face, I would love to know if how did you guys get that guitar sound on God Gave Rock and Roll to you? Like for the solo. It's just so good.
was playing. It was an X Fender. I had a guitar with holes in it and stuff, you know, lots
Yeah,
of holes.
yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
It made it lighter. It made the guitar lighter. But all I used to play was I had a volume pedal, and
Okay.
at that time I think I had a chorus. Just a
What
chorus.
amp?
The amp was a Laney.
Laney, and I guess it was fully cracked to get that drive sound.
It was like a 200. It was a 200 head.
Jesus, how did you get it to crunch that way?
Well, it's the only way I could get over Rod Argent. He had three. He had. We all had Laney amps because we did a deal with Laney, and they got us these. And I had a set of drums as well. I still have these drums, fun enough, Laney drums. Rod could never be as loud as he wanted to be because Rod is a sensational keyboard player, but he could never be as loud on the organ as he wanted to be. So he had one Leslie speaker. So he mic'd that up. And then we had another one on my side of the stage, which used to drive me mad. Because when you know, when they do that gliss and they go, wee, like that, you know, my teeth, you know, my fillings used to shake, you know.
Totally.
So you use those amps. You use those amps also in the studio?
Yeah, we used that on Hold Your Head Up. Yeah, we used those.
Wow.
And it was a good sound. Now, I mean, the middle part.
Yeah.
The middle part of Hold Your Head Up was when it went Hold Your Head Up. Hold your head up. And I used to have a ring on my little finger, and I just scraped it along the strings. Right?
Ah, cool. Cool.
We used to do that on the stage anyway, and I thought I'd put this in here.
No.
You know,
When he does that on stage now, just before he goes on, we have to get a euro or a pound coin from our pocket and give it to him before he goes on, so that when he replicates that on stage, he's got that in his pocket.
I do have great friends because they never let me down. They've always got a penny there. You know?
I can send you a ring, Russ, if you're missing a pinky ring, you know.
And I can always say that came from you, Layla.
Yeah, all right. My pleasure.
That's lovely. That's a lovely thought.
Consider it done.
But Tom, I've got to say to you, last Friday was Russ's. He had a landmark birthday. I think it was 60 or something, and he had his family organised a surprise party for him, and Rod Argent was there, and the two of them were playing piano in Russ's piano room, singing "Sweet Mary." You know that song on the album's called "Ring of Hands," but which is a great song. Russ on vocals, and it was just, I had to pinch myself really just standing there, to be honest.
Yeah, we used to do that. Yeah, he wrote that. That's a good song. So
in Canada, did Russ's solo stuff, has that resonated at all? Because he had what we call the Voices album. There's a track called Voices that was featured on Miami Vice. That, you know, that's how it kind of got a lot of airplay at the time, if you like. And another album called Fire Still Burns. And those two albums, you know, wherever Russ goes, they want him to play those tracks in the entirety. Don't know, is that did they resonate? I don't know how.
Well, I think we're a little bit younger. For me, it was God Gave Rock and Roll, you know, and like that was what brought me into Elton, like discovering and
it's the power of a song, Leela. You know, the power of the song that they do. You know, they stay around. You know, if you stay. And also, I was trying to say something that meant something to me. The idea of, you know, if you're young, you'll never be old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the idea of love your friend, that's hippie, you see. Love your friend. My lyrics went, love your friend, love your neighbor, love your life, and love your labor. Never too late to change your mind. You know, it's Don't step on snails or climbing trees. Love Cliff Richard, but please don't tease. It was meant to be funny. That was meant to be funny. They don't. People never realised that he had a single out called "Please Don't Tease." That's why I said.
And also the vocal harmony in the middle is so good.
So good.
yeah,
Yeah, we were sitting around trying to pick
Trying to
at it. With
decipher
our,
it, yeah.
yeah, because our kid has perfect pitch. Yeah.
To everyone, he gave a song to be sung.
Yeah, I love that part.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So good.
God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you, put it in the soul of everyone. God gave rock and roll to every boy, he gave the song to you. Say rock and roll for everyone.
yeah,
So
that's
good.
kind of Beach Boys, I guess.
Yeah.
Tom, it's
It's
lovely
perfect.
It's lovely you mentioned the Argent version and not the Kiss version. So that's lovely.
Yeah.
The Argent version is much better, I think.
Of course.
My
Funny when
I personally think that that Kiss got it dead right. I thought the
Yeah, it's a good version.
when I turned 8 years old, my parents called the local radio station and had them play "God Gave Rock and Roll" for me at noon when I was home from school. They're like, "Turn on the radio," and
Wow.
they turned it on, and it was one of my favorite songs at that age. So, yeah, great song.
it's a strange thing. As you get older, you sort of I've got children of my own, and my children have got children, so I've got grandchildren of my own, and you see the actual, that whole thing about life. And now, as you get older, it's a weird thing. You think, when I'm 50, when I'm 40, I wonder if, and you don't really see it until you get older, and then you look back at all the generations as you go back, but it's good, as you're growing, and you leave a lot of love to your son. What's your son called?
His name is Ben.
Oh, it's Ben.
Yeah, Ben. Ben Elliott.
Do you remember the Michael Jackson song, Ben?
Then the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for.
Don't actually. I don't know that one.
No, the guy that wrote the lyrics to that song is a friend of mine.
Right on.
Wow.
He wrote the lyrics, but it was written. Michael apparently wrote the tune. I don't know how true that was, but he apparently wrote that tune. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And
check it out.
Who was that, Russ? Who did the lyrics to that?
John Black.
Really? Okay.
I
didn't know that.
The born free, as free as the wind blows, as high as the wind blows. The James Bond
Yeah.
theme. And he wrote loads of tunes. He wrote Goldfinger. Goldfinger. He wrote that lyric. And he wrote, I spoke to Don, going back a few years ago, but I did something for him. I produced something for him. And he phoned me and asked me if I'd done a mix of it. I said, well, the show's closed down. There's no point in finishing it, no point in mixing it, because the show is finished on. And he went, okay, what have you been doing? I said, yeah, I'm still doing what I always did. I'm writing tunes and stuff. I said, what have you been doing? He said, I've just been to America. He said, I've just written 10 songs with Michael Jackson.
Crazy.
What a great line that is. He said, but they're mainly for Disney. He said, so they're...
Oh, not a bad day.
Yeah.
Not a
I've
bad
never heard
day.
these songs. I've never heard them. And Don's still going strong. But I'd like to know where they went, because he said they were written for Disney for a film that Michael Jackson was writing for Disney, for kids. So I don't know.
Talking of really good songs, Russ, one of the songs you picked out when you were listening to the Damn Truth album which is available on thedamntruth.com, and you must go there and make sure you subscribe and go and see the guys in the UK and their forthcoming tour. Oh, did I say that? Yeah.
Come have a pint.
And have a pint and a bag of crisps.
Yeah.
But there's a song called The Willow.
Yeah, for sure, tea, for sure.
There's a song called The Willow, Russ, that you said you said to me, that's their Stairway to Heaven. You said to me.
No, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem at all I can see with The Willow, it's beautiful, and I'm hoping that needs to be. It's getting it on the radio because it's quiet. It's quite down.
Oh, we agree totally, and we've been fighting with our radio promoter for a long time to like. There's just
apparently
something about
we know
that
nothing about rock and roll.
No, I've been thinking. You know what? That kind of tune, it would be perfect for a movie.
Absolutely.
100%.
If that's
It sucks you in, you know.
If that's on a movie, that's a hit song, hit record.
Thank you. I agree totally. We're talking about that song because that song is one of those songs that we don't remember how we wrote it. Tom and I rediscovered it on just on an old computer. Completely don't remember writing it. Don't remember how it hit. It was but it was written in one take, acoustic guitar, vocal, the whole thing, all the lyrics, and then forgotten, and then found again. And none of us have any recollection of writing a word or anything. And it's like one of those gifts. It's such a perfect.
But you know, I found in my career they're the best tunes, the really quick tunes. I think so. They just happen,
totally.
You know, you think, this is not going to be a hit. It's too simple. You know,
Russ, it's funny you see it that way as a Stairway to Heaven, because I think Bob also kind of saw it from that perspective, because in studio, after we had gotten, like the slow down, like you say, he's like, okay, and now we're going to go crazy. And then that's how the ending came to be, with the crazy solo and everything goes wild, and he's like, isn't it a little bit early? Nah, it's never too early to go crazy,
So true. Yeah, that is true. No, I think it's beautiful tune. In fact, that kind of tune is a career tune. You might get 3 hits that are sort of simple, and now they're radio friendly. We used to call it. You don't worry about radio friendly now, because people don't listen to the radio.
We said that earlier, didn't we, Ray? I used those words, radio friendly.
Call it TikTok friendly.
Yeah, TikTok friendly. Yeah. Quick, get to the chorus. Always start with the chorus.
Yeah. I never leave.
I never leave.
Lily,
I always thought that other people have said it actually, that pop songs and maybe radio friendly songs they are nursery rhymes for adults.
Totally. Same melodies. Totally.
Yeah.
Lily, you mentioned TikTok. Russ wrote a masterful lyric for another band called Fugitive in the UK. do you want to sort of say that? 'Cause I think it's just masterful, which they're going to use, by the way, when you hear it in a minute. They're going
Well,
to
they
use
had
it
a
on their
song.
merch. They're going to use it on their merch, this line. Sorry, Rob.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they had a song. They got in touch with this band, come from Liverpool, and they're guys in, older guys. They're sort of 45, 50. I'm talking about being in rock. That they're not young guys. They're 45, 50, and maybe 52 or something. But they're dedicated. They're passionate about music, and they got in touch with me. It was Michael Angel, the singer, got in touch with me initially. And somebody suggested to him that I could do, help them out as finding a song or writing a song with them. And I listened to their song. They sent me this tune and I listened to it. I phoned him, left his number. So I phoned him and I just said, we'd never met. I said, do you know, this is really, it's a cool recording and it's a good song. But, you've made, I think personally, you could have changed a few things to make it more, I don't know, palatable to the listener, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, what is that? And I was saying, well, I told him a few things I thought, and it was his song was called Raised on Rock.
Mm-hmm.
It was called I Was Raised on Rock, which aren't we all, and
that rhymes with TikTok.
And exactly.
Funny you should say that.
So I used it,
That's
and
amazing.
It came out. I was raised on rock, not TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's gold.
How cool.
I was raised. I was raised on radio, not TikTok, and that's how it goes. And is that what you were talking about, Ian?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see Michael. Who's actually putting some merch out. He did a Facebook post to say how many people would buy this if we use this lyric. So
I'd cut the sleeves off that and wear it right away.
Me too.
Yeah, they're great guys. And, they are.
Oh yeah.
The great thing about getting older, if you stay friendly with people and embrace people, they stay with. I've got so many young friends. I've got friends of
keeps you young.
Yeah, 60, 50, 40, 30, and they're still my friends. And there's no generation gap. It's brilliant.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, because of rock and roll, there's no generation gap. That's the thing we have in common. So it's something you have in common. And then you realize there's no generation gap. You go for a curry. Well, I say a curry because we like curry in England.
Oh, we love curry.
Oh, we love it. I can't wait.
Yeah. And we sit and we talk, we talk about everything. We talk, and then listen. And it's brilliant. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Russ is very.
So are you around when we're coming by? We'd love to.
Yeah.
Meet.
I'm coming to the curry.
All right.
Awesome. The hot Vindaloo tears as we tell our life stories.
Yeah, that used to be me, Vindaloo.
Yeah, me too. I'm easing off of it too, honestly.
The Damn Truth are playing
rough.
playing London Camden Underworld on the 21st, if I'm not mistaken, the 21st of November, which is a Friday night.
It'll be our first time at the Underworld. We've played a few times, in London, but this is our first time at the Underworld.
That'd be a good gig for you.
Awesome.
Cool.
That'd be
Awesome.
really, it's a great gig.
Looking forward.
Recently, they've used a lot of dare I say, heritage musicians there, but it's a great gig.
Fabulous. Well, we're looking forward to it. I mean, we always have a blast.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you always enjoy it. You can see you enjoy it. You're very pro. You move great on the stage, all of you. There's a great vibe going on. Keep doing that. Just keep doing that.
Thanks.
Because you're going to bring that back. I mean, to the audience.
That's the plan.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Young people have never experienced this before.
Yeah.
Young
Exactly.
people haven't really experienced it, but it's exciting.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
You look exciting on the stage, you know, it's great. It's
I
a
do.
great vibe with the music. It has continuity with your voice, everything. It's brilliant. And you know,
Even at 10 o'clock in the morning, that's when I saw them. 10 o'clock in the morning, which is
was that in Miami then?
it was it was on the Rock Legends cruise.
International waters, international waters.
Yeah.
Was Roger on that one? With, Ian?
Sorry.
Was Roger on that one?
No, that was just after the Roger one, actually. So Alice Cooper, Styx,
Oh, right.
Blackberry Smoke. Trying to remember.
John Waite.
John Waite, actually. John
Yeah.
Waite is.
He was awesome. We saw every
Well,
one of his shows.
he's written with Russ before. Should I say Russ has written with him? That's true, isn't it? Russ?
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. We became very good friends, actually.
Lovely fellow, lovely.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He came over. I went over there to LA. Fun enough to write with Alice Cooper.
Oh shit.
Right on.
Yeah, I used to be with Virgin, so you know, with Virgin, I did a great publishing deal with Virgin. They gave me a great contract, and it was Virgin Publishing, and it was for it was for good money. But in the contract, I had if I fly, I get first class. So I did first because it was Virgin, you know,
Wow.
at that time. I got there. Donna Young picked me up the other end, and she was a good friend of mine. She used to pick me up from the airport, and she said that the bad news, Alice Cooper and he can't actually write. So this is great. I've come out here to write.
Oh my
Alice Cooper.
God.
And yeah, and he lived in
Classic.
Arizona, and he's gone to Arizona. I was in LA, so I ended up writing with bad English.
Mm.
Oh,
John,
cool.
yeah, they put bad John and Jonathan Cain in, and it was really nice. They're great guys.
It was a real super group. It was Jonathan Cain, who eventually, of course, went on to play with Journey, or maybe he was with Journey at the time.
He
Actually,
was with Journey then.
yeah.
Yeah. His brother played for. He played for. How am I supposed to live without you? What was his name?
Big- Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton.
Neil Schon was in that band as well. From
Yeah,
Journey.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
great player.
Yeah.
But we wrote two in 2 days, and they both went on the album, which was good.
So this is Eden.
Yeah.
Is the track that I really like.
So this is Eden. So this is Eden. And baby, I knew it. That you lead me to it. I don't wanna get
I'm trying to remember the other one. But
That wasn't that good then.
well, look, yeah, of course it was. But I'm biased, aren't I? So so talking of curry, we'll finish very
Ooh.
soon because this is Russ's curry night, and
Yeah, you're making me starve now.
around. But before we finish, it just reminded me, Tom, do you remember when you played on the deck, on the top deck, that afternoon? We came alongside the ship, alongside another ship, right? And this looked like a sort of, shall we say, an elderly people's cruise, should we just say that?
Sure.
And we were right alongside. So the two ships, you could literally lean over and shake hands with the person that was on the other ship, and they were docked, or we were stationary, weren't we?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you guys sort of spotted that. So Mike
We
came.
were trolling them all day.
So Tom came on the mic and he said, "Right, we are just going to say we're going to there was some interest. I can't remember exactly what you said, but it
You
was
remember, Tom? You said something like, "Let's make the other ship jealous" or something like that. What did you say?
words
I
to that
can't,
effect.
I can't remember. I just know that it's like
Got it on
people.
video. I got it on video somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
I'll
So
add
you
it to this. I'll add it to this. So
Listen, I don't want to waste too much of your time. I just want to say one little thing. One little fucking thing. You see, the thing is, today, right here, right now, is special. Why is it special, you may ask? Well, you got an idea, but it's the first time ever that the damn truth is in the Bahamas, ladies and gentlemen. And we're so fucking happy to be here with all of you guys. It's an honor. So, to make this moment extra fucking special, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna count to 4. And when I get to 4, we're gonna show everybody on the other cruise ship that they made a fucking big mistake not being here. So, this is how we're gonna do it. You hear me over there? Then I'm happy. Alright. I'm gonna count till 4. And when I get to 4, I want you to scream as loud as you can so the fucking windows in the other ship fucking blast. Can we do that? I said, can we fucking do that? 1, 2, you ready? 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 1,
this. So the
I just,
people
I
can
just,
see
I
it.
just found it super funny because there were people standing on the deck of the other ship, looking really confused of what's happening on our ship. Yeah,
And you said
just,
At 10
everybody's got to shout really loud. 1,
yeah, exactly.
2, 3, and the whole of the audience like that. And these people were sort of turning around thinking, "What the, hell is going on there?"
But I saw some fist pumping going on from the other ships, so there was we were converting some fellows. It was
Oh
good.
yeah, we have a high conversion rate, that's for sure.
That was really good. So before Russ leaves, you any more questions for Russ before you before we let him go and have his curry?
I
just
have an
would love-
answer to your thing. So Tom, go ahead with your question, and then I have an
I-
answer to your first question, Ian.
I don't really have a question because I got my answer.
Yeah.
The Lanny 200 watt heads. I'm gonna have to find one out.
Yeah.
But
You have to find
would love to meet you for curry when we're in the UK, man. It would be great to shake your hand and
Yes.
give
It'd be
Yes,
great.
it would be an
to,
honor.
Have a chat. Well, I mean, if it's not, then it's going to be some other time. We'll always arrange.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. 13
Yeah,
straight
the-
shows.
If you want to,
Yeah, exactly.
If you want my email, you're welcome to take it, and we'll correspond with each other.
Sounds
Fabulous.
good.
Please, I think we have
Love
it. That's awesome.
Got it? Yes, that's fine. Yeah,
That's lovely.
Great.
Wonderful.
If ever you make your way to Canada, of course, let us know.
Yeah,
The guys are back in the UK in January, Russ, and I know you've got a few shows, haven't you? So
Manchester, though, isn't it?
in
Manchester.
January, it's up there up north. I don't know where you're going to be in January, guys, but
Well, if it works out, we'd love to come see you play. Yeah, that would be amazing.
We would love it. We would love it.
yeah, there's some down south. I'll see if I can set that up. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy just got in touch with me on my birthday because it was Halloween, my birthday, and he got in touch with me. And he was, do you know Paul Schaefer?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Name rings a bell.
He wished me
Great
happy
show.
birthday. I never met him. I just replied to him because he said he was on the he was the conductor and I think the MD for
The David Letterman show.
David
Letterman,
show.
yes, that's right.
For 33 years. So I
Yeah.
just
Wow.
corresponded with him, and it's just written. And he comes from Montreal.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Comes from Montreal.
Interesting.
Yeah, you just mentioned Montreal, and I thought that's where he comes from.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he said,
Very
he
cool.
said, I tell Harry, I hate to say this, but he said, Russ, he said, on my birthday, this came on my birthday. He said, Russ, I saw you in Montreal in 1969 at the Something Something Festival.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
he said, yeah, he said, I love this, I love that, I love this, and I've never forgotten you. And he's come back. His name is Paul Allen.
No, really.
He
Oh,
came
wow.
back, and I was confused because he came back and said, "Oh, it's great to hear from you." Da, 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 da. Paul Allen.
Huh.
I said, "Did I press the wrong button here?" You know what I'm saying? But no, that's his name, Paul Allen Schaefer.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah. So it's
getting
amazing.
personal.
And
Very cool. Well, it's great to meet you guys for sure.
Yeah.
and you, it's great. And best of luck with the tour. You're going to kill them.
We'll have
Thank
some
you
fun
very
for sure. We
Thanks,
love the
Russ.
UK, man.
I love
We're
I
lucky
love
to
your
go.
tunes. The first tune,
Be
Be
somebody.
somebody.
Be somebody.
that,
I
ti-
just want to
that-
be
that title-
somebody.
that title is very Grace Slick.
Mm-hmm.
Look for somebody to love. Look
Yeah.
for somebody to love.
Yeah, totally.
I survive
Absolutely.
about it, you know. But
Absolutely.
that's the killer. You've got a very identifiable voice.
Thank you very
But
much.
it's more. There's a lot of Fleetwood Mac in there as well, which is very, very
We
radio.
love Fleetwood Mac.
It's got that Fleetwood Mac kind of, it's a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
But for kids, it should be.
Thank you so much, man. It's really, really a pleasure. Thank you for listening to our music and for talking to us. It's Ian for hooking us up. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Ian, to
Okay.
taper this off, could I answer your first question about the shuffle?
Yeah. Yes,
The
please.
shuffle.
So
Yes, please.
after all of this experience here, meeting you guys and becoming family, I think I'm ready to name the shuffle. All this talk of Indian curry and the fact that it's mostly fueled by Bombay Sapphire gin, I think we're going to call it the Bombay Shuffle.
Ah, brilliant.
What do you think?
So it does gin and curry. Both of which
Two of-
Russ,
two of
Russ
our
and I
favorite
love
things in
very
the UK.
much.
Excellent, excellent. So you'll come to the green room then.
That's
Warm up for the shuffle.
superb. Oh, that's great.
You're not going to get a green room in Catherine.
Oh, well, that's okay. I've once changed in the trash can before, so it's fine.
That's brilliant.
Oh, that's brilliant.
All
So, listen,
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
I'd
you
like to
very
thank
much.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
for giving up your time and obviously very much thank Russ because he's grateful this time, but he's also likes to support bands like yourselves, and I really do think you're on the cusp of something really big.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it when I heard it in Germany.
Yeah.
Actually, loved that tune. I loved the tune you were playing at the time.
So let's see if we
Really
can
appreciate you
let's see
guys.
if we
Thank
can
you.
get you together or we can all get together somehow. Let's try and do that.
For
I've
sure,
got
that'd be amazing.
tickets for the London gig, but I'll be in Camden. But
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see you
good.
soon.
Let us know if you want to come to any other shows. Don't buy tickets.
yeah,
Call me.
You're very kind. We got to support the artists. You guys, we got to support you. But yes, very kind of
Totally,
you.
totally.
But thanks again, everybody. Have a great evening. And Russ, enjoy your curry, sir.
Yes.
Enjoy.
I
Love you
don't-
guys.
I
See
don't-
Love
ya.
you guys.
I don't
All
know.
the love. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
All the best. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Ciao.
I just want to be somebody.
So good.
Ooh.
Russ, you know what I like to do for the vindaloo?
Yeah.
Because it's too spicy, is I'll usually get a vindaloo and a lamb sag, and I'll mix the two, and it makes it a little bit easier on the digestion for me.
Yeah, people often do a korma, don't they? They do a korma.
Oh yeah, the korma too. Yeah,
Yeah, just to cool it down. But
good middle ground.
I've got a problem in as much as I'm vegan. I've been vegan. I've been vegetarian for 45 years.
Okay. Well, I mean, Indian's good for that. They're very versatile for you, right?
Oh yeah, because I mean it's
You
Hindu
get the
and all that,
thali, I
really.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a great friend of mine that has an Indian restaurant and is just amazing. He
Oh
makes,
yeah, is it
makes
in
vegan.
London?
He knows exactly how I like it. Just 3 or 4 ingredients.
Yeah, that's all you
Amazing.
need.
Yeah, and a
That's
great
real
bottle of
food.
wine.
Do you like PY? Do you like prawns?
Oh yeah, I'm from a fishing town actually. I love it. Everything from the sea or sometimes fresh water.
There's a lovely dish. If you may have had it before, but normally as a starter called prawn puri or king prawn puri, and it's like
Okay.
prawns done in like a light but thick sauce on a sort of light bread. It's really tasty.
Oh, I've never had that. What's it
Prawn
called?
puri, prawn puree or king prawn.
Puree. Okay.
Puree,
Well, I guess
puree,
I'll
yeah.
have it next week. We're landing on Monday, so
But like you said though, you're doing straight shows, aren't you? So you're not getting a day off. So it's
13
current
straight
lunch then,
shows,
isn't
yeah.
it?
yeah.
No,
Or
but
if
we
we can
do,
sneak out
you know,
after sound check,
How many
Yeah.
days are you doing?
13 straight.
What?
13.
Yeah, consecutively.
Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, we're dumb.
Leela can do it. You know, she
Well,
says
Yes,
she
she
can
can.
do it. So
It's usually the voice. I've always found it very difficult to do
It
that.
is.
That's amazing. It's technique.
Leela really does
She's got a
have
good-
an
she's got a
incredible
good technique.
routine and regimen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lose
Really
my
takes
voice,
care
and
of her
I'm just a
voice
backup
and,
vocalist.
Crikey. Take the vocal zone. That's the one, isn't it? Vocal zone.
Vocal zone. Vocal zone.
Vocal zone.
What's
Vocal zone.
Vocal zone.
Yeah. I know that Graham Bonnet did 19 in a stretch.
Oh boy.
He did 19 when he
That's
came over here
crazy,
from
man.
LA. Now he
Holy
now lives in
shit.
LA. He did
At that point, even the guitar players and the bass players and the drummers, like your limbs from just the physical
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
every night, 90
it-
minutes.
But the guitar
crazy.
player with your fingertips as well, you know.
Yeah, your wrists, everything. Holding the guitar, it seems easy, but when you stack it on top of each other like that, 19 times in a row,
You should have holes cut in the guitar will makes them a
I
lot,
like that idea, man. You said that
lighter.
earlier. That's
yeah,
great.
a lot lighter.
It's a great guitar. I don't know whether you've seen it, but check it out online. It's a Fender Strat, but it's got a
It's a telly neck.
yeah. Sorry, correct. It's a Telecaster neck. It's a Fender Strat with a telly neck. Sorry, brain fog.
Wicked. That's
It's
awesome.
gorgeous. The
I love a
holy
Strat.
strat.
There you
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Holy
Well,
Strat
well
is so
done.
cool.
Dave's looked it up. He's got it in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I'm
amazing.
sure I've seen it before.
yeah.
The reason it's got a different neck is because in the
Holy
70s,
shit, that's
in-
cool.
in the 70s, Russ would always, and he does these days actually, throws the guitar up in the air. But this one occasion, I think he dropped it. So the neck had to be replaced, but they replaced it with his guitar tech at the time replaced it with the telly neck instead of a Strat. So it's really different. It's really a one-off.
If you look on one album, there's one album. I think it's the second album. It might be the third album. There's pictures of the four of us, and I'm playing this guitar, and I've got sort of flowers around my jacket and stuff like that. And on the tip of the guitar neck, there's a hole in the neck. Jim put a hole in the neck as well,
What?
right in the tip, right in the tip of the neck, right in the
right.
tip.
That's
By the tuning pegs.
Huh.
Right.
Put it
Like
in
right
the
after
hole.
the nut?
And that's the neck that fell off. It split
Ah.
down the middle. When I threw it up,
Oh, okay.
it fell on the stage, and it split. And so we left it there. We went back there 3 weeks later, back to the States, and they put a telly neck on it.
Yeah, it's so cool. I see the hole. The hole is much bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Good place to put a fat cigar.
So the guy Sven who designs Russ's merch, design the t-shirts with the guitar. So this is what I'm wearing is for the podcast is
Oh, yeah.
is the guitar with the holes in.
That's so cool.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very cool.
great. But
Right on.
Gentlemen, gonna
I'm
make
gonna have
my
to head out
exit.
as well. I hear my wife arriving.
Yeah.
Time for business.
All the best. Yeah. Have a great flight.
Thank you so much,
over.
fellas.
cheers.
All right. Much love, boys.
Dave,
Thank you.
Dave,
eh?
lovely to
See
meet
soon.
you. PY, lovely to meet you too.
Ciao,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Have a good
Cheers,
one.
guys. Be good.
Bye. Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.